General. 1. Procedure. When it is necessary to indicate that the Imo Smcp are to be used, the following message may be sent. Please use IMO standard marine communication phrases. I will use IMO standard marine communication phrases. 2. Spelling. 2.1 Spelling of letters. When spelling is necessary, only the following spelling table should be used. A. Alpha. B. Bravo. C. Charlie. D. Delta. E. Echo. F. Foxtrot. G. Golf. H. Hotel. I. India. J. Juliet. K. Kilo. L. Lima. M. Mike. N. November. O. Oscar. P. Papa. Q. Quebec. R. Romeo. S. Sierra. T. Tango. U. Uniform. V. Victor. W. Whiskey. X. X-ray. Y. Yankee. Z. Zulu. 2.2 Spelling of digits and numbers. A few digits and numbers have a modified pronunciation compared to General English. 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, tree, 4, flower, 5, fife, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, niner, 1,000, 1,000. 3. Message markers. In shore-to-ship and ship-to-shore communication or radio communication in general, the following 8 message markers may be used. 1. Instruction. 2. Advice. 3. Warning. 4. Information. 5. Question. 6. Answer. 7. Request. 8. Intention. 4. Responses. 4.1 When the answer to a question is in the affirmative, say yes, followed by the appropriate phrase in full. 4.2 When the answer to a question is in the negative, say no, followed by the appropriate phrase in full. 4.3 When the information requested is not immediately available, say stand by, followed by the time interval within which the information will be available. 4.4 When the information requested cannot be obtained, say no information. 4.5 When an instruction, e.g. by a VTS station, naval vessel or other fully authorized personnel, or an advice is given, respond if in the affirmative, I will or I can, followed by the instruction or advice in full, and, if in the negative, respond, I will not or I cannot, followed by the instruction or advice in full. Example. Advice. Do not overtake the vessel north of you. Respond, I will not overtake the vessel north of me. 4.6 Responses to orders and answers to questions of special importance both in external and onboard communication are given in wording in the phrases concerned. 5. Distress, urgency, and safety signals. 5.1 Mayday, to be used to announce a distress message. 5.2 Pon-pon, to be used to announce an urgency message. 5.3 Securite, to be used to announce a safety message. 6. Standard organizational phrases. 6.1 How do you read me? 6.1.1 I read you. I read you bad or I read you 1 with signal strength 1, i.e. barely perceptible. I read you poor or I read you 2 with signal strength 2, i.e. weak. I read you fair or I read you 3 with signal strength 3, i.e. fairly good. I read you good, or I read you 4 with signal strength 4, i.e. good. I read you excellent, or I read you 5 with signal strength 5, i.e. very good. 6.2. When it is advisable to remain on a VHF channel or frequency, say, stand by on VHF channel, or stand by on frequency. 6.2.1. When it is accepted to remain on the VHF channel or frequency indicated, say, standing by on VHF channel, or standing by on frequency. 6.3. When it is advisable to change to another VHF channel or frequency, say, advise, you, change to VHF channel, or advise, you, change to frequency, or advise, you, try VHF channel, or advise, you, try frequency. 6.3.1. When the changing of a VHF channel or frequency is accepted, say, changing to VHF channel, or changing to frequency. 7. Corrections. When a mistake is made in a message, say, mistake, followed by the word, correction, plus the corrected part of the message. Example, my present speed is 14 knots, mistake. Correction, my present speed is 12.12 knots. 8. Readiness. I am ready to receive your message, or I am not ready to receive your message. 9. Repetition. 9.1. If any part of the message is considered sufficiently important to need safeguarding, say, repeat, followed by the corresponding part of the message. Example, my draft is 12.6. Repeat, 12.6 meters. Do not overtake, repeat. Do not overtake. 9.2. When a message is not properly heard, say again, please. 10. Numbers. Numbers are to be spoken in separate digits, 1504 150. 2.5 or 2.5 for 2.5. Note, attention. When rudder angles, e.g. in wheel orders, are given, say, 15.415 or 24.20, etc. 11. Positions. 11.1. When latitude and longitude are used, these shall be expressed in degrees and minutes, and decimals of a minute if necessary, north or south of the equator and east or west of Greenwich. Example, warning. Dangerous wreck in position 15 degrees 34 minutes north 061 degrees 29 minutes west. 11.2. When the position is related to a mark, the mark shall be a well-defined charted object. The bearing shall be in the 360 degrees notation from true north and shall be that of the position from the mark. Example, your position bearing 137 degrees from Big Head Lighthouse, distance 2.4 nautical miles. 12. Bearings. The bearing of the mark or vessel concerned is the bearing in the 360 degree notation from north, true north unless otherwise stated, except in the case of relative bearings. Bearings may be either from the mark or from the vessel. Examples, pilot boat is bearing 215 degrees from you. Note, vessels reporting their position should always quote their bearing from the mark, as described in paragraph 11.2 of this section. 12.1. Relative bearings. Relative bearings can be expressed in degrees relative to the vessel's head. More frequently, this is in relation to the port or starboard bow. Example, buoy 030 degrees on your port bow. Relative direction finding bearings are more commonly expressed in the 360 degree notation. 13. Courses. Always to be expressed in 360 degree notation from north, true north unless otherwise stated. Whether this is to or from a mark can be stated. 14. Distances. To be expressed in nautical miles or cables, tenths of a mile, the unit always to be stated. 15. Speed. To be expressed in knots. 15.1. Without further notation, meaning speed through the water, or 15.2.1.1. Ground speed, meaning speed over the ground. 16. Times. Times should be expressed in the 24-hour UTC notation. If local time will be used in ports or harbors, it should clearly be stated. 17. Geographical names. Place names used should be those on the chart or in sailing directions in use. Should these not be understood, latitude and longitude should be given. 18. Ambiguous words. Some words in English have meanings depending on the context in which they appear. Misunderstandings frequently occur, especially in VTS communications, and have produced accidents. Such words are 18.1. The conditionals may, might, should, and could. May. Do not say, "May I enter the fairway?" Say, question. Do I have permission to enter the fairway? Do not say, "You may enter the fairway." Say, answer. You have permission to enter the fairway. Might. Do not say, "I might enter the fairway." Say, intention. I will enter the fairway. Should. Do not say, "You should anchor in Anchorage B3." Say, advice. Anchor in Anchorage B3. Could. Do not say, "You could be running into danger." Say, warning. You are running into danger. 18.2. The word can. The word can describes either the possibility or the capability of doing something. In the Imo Smcp, the situations where phrases using the word can appear make it clear whether a possibility is referred to. In an ambiguous context, however, say, for example, question. Do I have permission to use the shallow draft fairway at this time? Do not say, "Can I use the shallow draft fairway at this time?" if you are asking for a permission. The same applies to the word may.